And we are live. How y'all doing today, Cash Sports Podcast? I'm great. I'm doing fantastic. Once again, I'm back at it with you guys, live streaming and letting you know what's really going down in the sports world. So I know why y'all clicked this video, right? So I don't want to stall. I want to get you guys, all amped up. I'm gonna give you guys straight for what you came for, and that's the NFL MVP betting odds, right? So I just don't want to, give my opinion all the time. Actually want to give you guys information, stuff that you guys can actually use in relation to what we talk about, right? So again, I am not responsible for your wins and your losses. I am only responsible for just giving you the information to you, and thus you take it from there, right? So when I give you these betting odds, you gotta take it for yourself and then do whatever you want with that information, right? So we gonna be talking about NFL MVP projections. What are the odds of each guy to win the NFL MVP? And we know how hard it is to win this award, man. It's a very prestigious award. Hey, winning NFL MVP, it ain't no small thing. You're doing a very big thing when you win MVP. I mean, look at the most recent years, right? We look at Lamar Jackson, which so much, we give him so many compliments. We look at him in a different spotlight simply because he won NFL MVP. And it's a very good reason, in my opinion. And I'm not saying he shouldn't have. He definitely should have. Aaron Rodgers last year, very good reason, won MVP, right? So that just goes to show, man, it's great players. It's players that really stand out and really do their thing that ultimately gets them the big trophy in the end. So let's get right into it, man. I'm gonna pull it up right now. Right. So as of right now, when I go through betting odds, I do not allow people to interject when it comes to betting odds. So only people that I know are kind of allowed when we talk about betting odds, because I don't, I kind of just want to stick to the program, but you guys already know what it is. So I don't even want to keep taking that away from y'all. All right, so here it is. So I'm gonna just let you guys know off the rip, I am getting it from Fox Sports betting odds, right? But I'm gonna let you guys know now that they do get this information from Caesars Sportsbook. You know what? I just want to clarify that with you guys, just so you know I'm not BSing you, because I want to give you guys that assurance right here. Look, boom. According to Caesars Sports Books, right? So there it is right there. And if you guys ever want to look back at this information, let's just say you guys don't want to see me talk about it or talk about each player line by line, and you guys want to check it out for yourself, the link is in the description box. So if you guys want to check that out, just simply go into the description, in the description box, click the link. I already labeled it, so by the time you click it, boom, you're gonna see the same thing that I'm looking at right now. Now, when it comes to certain platforms or wherever you go to place these bets, right, that's completely up to you. There's numerous ways that you can go about this, right? So let's start off. Let's go to the top, man. Let's start it off with the guys at the top. I don't want to have this any further. Let's start with the list, right? So top 20 NFL betting odds at Fox Bet. Top of the list. Y'all already know he's a guy that's been at the top of the list for a majority of, honestly, really, most of the NFL MVP betting odds. Josh Allen has been at the top for nearly all of these lists. Josh Allen is set to have not only a breakout year, but a legendary year. Or so they say, right? So, I mean, just going off last season, Josh Allen was a dog. I mean, he had some up and downs spots. He had some up and downs last season. Sometimes he can be a little bit, he can make a couple mistakes. Sometimes even be a little bit inconsistent, but that's what happens when you barely run the ball and then the ball just happens to be in your hands for the majority of the time of the game. Buffalo Bills just so happen to, they're probably one of the least running teams in the NFL. A lot of the rushes actually come off Josh Allen. So if it's anybody who's going to rack up the fantasy points and probably have best opportunity to win NFL MVP, it would be Josh Allen. But that's strictly just off the betting odds. Now, do I think he's going to win NFL MVP? Me personally, I see him winning one further down the line, but I don't know if I can say this year, man. Oh, it's because the NFL is just is so unpredictable. You never know, going into the year, you never really know how players are going to perform. You never know which player is really going to stand out and take the league by storm. I mean, I'm going to date back to that Lamar Jackson situation. We really didn't predict Lamar Jackson coming out and doing the things that he did, which resulted him in winning NFL MVP. So that's one of the examples of how these things can be really unpredictable. But the Caesar Sportsbooks literally just sets the standard on, what to kind of expect heading into the season. But you guys know that, man. I don't even need to explain that to you. You should be well over 21 or 21 years old. If you're going to be placing the bet, you should know that, right? So coming up next and Josh Allen is plus 500. So if you bet $10, you get $80. Woo! That's like probably fill up the tank. So coming in after that is Patrick Mahomes, right? Plus 800. If you bet $10, you get $90. Not really a surprise here. I mean, come on now. It's Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes, the Virgo Viper, right? He's always doing his thing every year since he's came into the year. Or since he's came into the NFL. Sorry about that. And then he took the starting job in his second year. He blew the league by storm, right? In just his second season, he threw for over 5,000 yards, and had 50 passing touchdowns that year alone, right? So, and that year made him one of the youngest NFL players to win NFL MVP. So Patrick Mahomes has a long career ahead of him. I mean, he really just kind of got the ball rolling, and he has a lot to show for it. I mean, he already has a Super Bowl under his belt. He already has one MVP under his belt. And then also, he's been to a couple AFC championship games. So you can never rule out Patrick Mahomes until he's done for, right? So honestly, I think Patrick Mahomes probably has a better chance of winning NFL MVP over Josh Allen. But that's just in my opinion. Given the fact that Patrick Mahomes has considerably less weapons this year, I can see Patrick Mahomes really putting the Chiefs offense on his back and putting up some serious numbers, because he's gonna have to spread the ball out. He's gonna have to feed the ball to a lot of different receivers. And of course, he still has Travis Kelce, who's still a dog at tight end. But we all know that there's some form of questions when it pertains to the Kansas City Chiefs wide receiving core. So it's going to be really interesting how Patrick Mahomes plays this year without Tyreek Hill, right? So coming in third, comes to no surprise, is the GOAT man himself, the man, the myth, the legend, Tom Brady. You already know, man. Tom Brady already had to be on this list. We ain't even got to sugarcoat it, man. Tom Brady is always going to be in the conversation for NFL MVP. And if you bet $10, you get $95. Cha-ching! That's how we do it. Cash Sports, right? So Tom Brady comes to no surprise. This may or may not be Tom Brady's last year in the NFL, right? More than likely, it might be his last year in the NFL. So I would not rule this out if Tom Brady was to have another NFL MVP season to top off the end of his career, especially with his time with the Bucs, because Tom Brady's time with the Bucs is already considered one of the most legendary careers just in that time span alone. So Tom Brady, even last year, he led the league in a couple QB stats. He was a leader. He was a QB leader in the main QB stat categories, if you guys understand what I'm saying, like, yards, touchdowns, things of that nature, right? So just coming off a season like that, there was some controversy when it pertains to who should have won MVP last year. And Tom Brady actually had a very valid argument more than anybody else, right? So I don't think a lot of people disagree with the fact that Aaron Rodgers won the award. But I think people were just trying to reiterate that Tom Brady had a stronger case, or even had a case for NFL MVP. So whenever Tom Brady's playing in the league, man, he's always in conversation for NFL MVP. So on to the next one is a guy we haven't seen on this list, and we might see for a very long time in the future, is the LA Chargers starting QB, Justin Herbert. Now, I'm pretty high on this guy. I'm looking at Justin Herbert, man. This guy is a dog. I mean, this guy's arm is ridiculous. I'm talking about arm strength. We're talking about accuracy. Emphasis on the accuracy, right? He's a tall quarterback. He's elusive. He's definitely got some legs on him, but he's better with his arm than he is with his legs, right? So just with that alone, this is going to lift the Chargers team increasingly. Right, so the Chargers are going to be crazy. They're one of my teams to be one of the breakout teams for this season. I mean, they have the defense, they got the offense, they got the franchise quarterback. Now, all they got to do is just capitalize on the moment. And I know it's a tough year. It's a hell of a tough year. Same for Patrick Mahomes. It's a tough division. But I agree that any team that comes out on top of this AFC West division, best believe any player, any QB that's on top of that division is definitely going to be in the conversation for NFL MVP. And if Justin Herbert and the Chargers are on top of that division, best believe Justin Herbert is going to be in that conversation. And no more further questions on that or comments. So coming in right under him is somebody who is the reigning NFL MVP, the man from the Green Bay Packers himself, Aaron Rodgers, right? So no surprise there. We just seen the guy win NFL MVP just last year. Guy had hit over 4,000 passing yards, over 30 touchdowns, and only throwing 4 interceptions in a year. But we already know that. We already know what type of dog Aaron Rodgers is, and he can win MVP every single year if he so chooses. So that is why if you bet $10, you'll get $110. And honestly, that's still a good bet because Aaron Rodgers is still one of those guys. Now, is he at the top of the list? Should he be a favorite? Definitely not this year. He could win it, but not this year. Especially now at the season, we just seen him fall in the playoffs, right? So they might hold Aaron Rodgers accountable in that aspect, right? So it's definitely agreeable why these guys are over him so far. We're going to recap just on the players that we talked about so far. The guy that I would say is the best pick, or the two best guys that I would say are the best picks, are Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert is obviously my underdog pick, but if I wanted to go with something a little bit more assuring and I didn't want to go with the favorite, my betting odds would be Patrick Mahomes. But you know what? I wouldn't even cross out Tom Brady neither, because Tom Brady is still that guy. It wouldn't even surprise me if Tom Brady won it this year. So check that in, man. Those are my 3 picks so far. So coming in after Aaron Rodgers is Joe Burrow. We just seen this man come from the Super Bowl. He just won the AFC Championship. He beat Patrick Mahomes in the AFC Championship. I mean, we seen him beat the Tennessee Titans also. I mean, this team, this QB, the Cincinnati Bengals he's gonna take this team over the hills. Joe Burrow is here to stay, and he's here to make a statement. Now, I don't know if he wins MVP this year, but he could. You know what? He's another one. He's another sleeper pick for this year also. Because why not? If Lamar Jackson can do it, I don't see any other reason why Joe Burrow can't do it neither. And I'm going to leave it at that. Because guess what? He's got a killer receiver in Jamar Chase. And he might win Offensive Player of the Year. I'm just saying. But like I said, it's just my opinion. We can keep it there. So coming in after Joe Burrow is the man who just won a Super Bowl also, is Matthew Stafford. Now, do I believe Matthew Stafford is going to win MVP? I do not think so. But Matthew Stafford is still a fantastic QB. Any team would be lucky to have him on their team. But Matthew Stafford does not win a Super Bowl. Oh, sorry. Play my last. Not Super Bowl, NFL MVP. Sorry, I made that mistake. So if you were to bet $10 on Matthew Stafford, you would win $170. So that's up to you. If you guys want to bet on Matthew Stafford, I do see Matthew Stafford in the long run having a better career on forward. I mean, he is with the Rams. He's with a better situation, better franchise. So I definitely see him putting up some good numbers this year. I mean, he already did. He could probably tone it down with interceptions. Honestly, if Matthew Stafford just tones it down with the interceptions this year as opposed to last year, Matthew Stafford does have a really good chance of winning NFL MVP, right? So coming in after Matthew Stafford is a guy we all know, right? Has a really good quarterback in this league. And he might be a little bit low on this list, is Russell Wilson. He is plus 1,700. If you bet $10, guess what? You're going to get $180. And you know what you can get with $180? Not Jordans, because they're not $180 no more. Oh, you didn't know that, didn't you? So Russell Wilson, he got traded from the Seattle Seahawks, and now he's with the Denver Broncos. So the Denver Broncos and Russell Wilson have really high expectations going into this year. I mean, it really comes to a point where Russell Wilson has to make a statement with the Broncos. With all that controversy that was with the Seahawks and Russell Wilson really not wanting to stay, play under Pete Carroll any longer, it's led to this situation now where he's playing with Denver Broncos, and he has a relatively complete team. They've always had somewhat of a decent defense, a good to decent defense. Their running game is sustainable, not the best, but definitely sustainable. I think Melvin Gordon has definitely gotten better and blossomed as a running back. I know Tim Patrick, if I'm not mistaken, is already out for the season. He tore his ACL, but that doesn't rule out players like Jerry Jeudy, right? Russell Wilson is a guy who's known for making his receivers look really good, right? Even though he's played with DK Metcalf, think about all the players and the receivers he's played with. Tyler Lockett, right? It's made him look fantastic. Baldwin, right? And these are not bad players, but Russell Wilson has a very accurate deep ball. So watching a motivated Russell Wilson, I'm telling you, I would not bet against a man. I would not bet against a motivated Russell Wilson. I'm just letting you know. I'm just letting y'all know, man. That might be a hint. But like I said, it's just my opinion. So coming in after him is the Dallas Cowboys starting quarterback. Oh, I'm sorry. You do really well. You're talking to yourself. You go far in yourself. Thank you, bro. I appreciate it. See that? One of my guys, man, out here showing love, bro. I really appreciate it, man. I'm trying, man. There it goes. But right back, so let me get back into it. But before I do, for anybody who's streaming or watching this platform right now, please like and subscribe to CashSports Podcast. I would really appreciate it if you do. Help a brother out. If you do, I can keep giving you content. I can keep letting you guys know about these betting odds. So then I can give you guys the keys to success. And also, I would want you guys to be more involved in what I'm doing here. I know today it's sports betting odds. I'm letting y'all know with the sports bets. But there's going to be times where I'm going to want them debates too now. I'm going to want to hear from y'all. And then when I do, guess what? I'm going to shut your ass down. Because y'all ain't going to be able to rock with me, man. So, coming in now was the recent quarterback, which I just stated is Dak Prescott, starting quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. He has a plus 1,800 betting odds to win the NFL MVP. So if you bet $10, you are going to get $190. Racking in them bands. Woo! They don't want to see me in the strip club with that. Or I crazy, man. I'm telling you. So, Dak Prescott. Do I see him winning an MVP? Hell no. To the no. Hell to the no. I don't see it happening. I'm sorry, Cowboys fans. I'm sorry, not sorry. But it's not happening. It is not happening. I'm sorry. It's not. But you know what, though? I could see it maybe in 3 years. Maybe in 3 years. But I really want Dak Prescott. I don't see. You know what, though? I'll make fun of y'all team at any opportunity I got. But Dak Prescott, I generally want him to do well. I'll say this. I want him to win NFL MVP. I just don't want the Cowboys to win the Super Bowl. Is that fine? Can I say that? Is that good with y'all? Let me know. Let me know in the comment section. All right. So coming in next, right, is Lamar Jackson. He is plus 2,200. And if you bet $10 on Lamar Jackson, you will get $230. You know how much that's worth? That's worth a pair of LeBrons. LeBron James. There you go. Right. So that's what happens if you bet on Lamar. So Lamar Jackson, man, pretty big year for Lamar Jackson. I'm not going to front. Going into the year, there's been a lot of controversy with Lamar Jackson's contract situation. And he recently came out and stated that once the NFL season starts, he will not be engaging into contract negotiations. So that might be a very big indication on Lamar Jackson's career. But we're not going to go there. We're not talking about we're talking about money here. But we ain't talking about contracts, right? So with Lamar Jackson, is he going to be able to win the NFL MVP? I think this year, Lamar Jackson will be close. He'll be top five. I'll give him that. Top 5, right? And it'll be tough. It'll definitely be tough. Because really, in that division, I really got it only between the Ravens and the Bengals. Right? So, Lamar Jackson, he'll definitely do his thing. He'll definitely be the player that he's always set out to be. Only thing that would prevent Lamar Jackson from winning NFL MVP or even coming close to being mentioned in this conversation is that, one, he needs to simmer down with the interceptions, right? And he has to stay healthy. He has to do both. And I believe that he can get better with the interceptions. And then the way he bulked up, I mean, hey, my man put on 30 plus pounds. My man's all muscle. Man, that man put on so much muscle, I think he got to be tested. That's how much weight he put on old buddy. But let me not say that, though. I don't want to get nobody in trouble, right? So on to the next one, right? So for plus 2,500 is the man that just got paid on average of $46 million per year is Kyler Murray, right? So Kyler Murray, we all know about the Arizona Cardinals. They started out 7-0 last year. They were a team to be reckoned with. They were not to be trifled with. This was a team that you had to look out for, with Kyler Murray leading the helm. DeAndre Hopkins being the wide receiver that he is. He's going to come in. He was injured last year, but guess what? He's going to look to redeem himself. Right? So what we're looking at here with Kyler Murray is if he can finish the end of the year on a high note, he has a very good chance to win the NFL MVP. Because that's what kills him. It's not the beginning. It's not the first half of the year. It's always the end of the year. It's always the second half of the year, right? So if Kyler Murray can finish off on a good note and maybe be a second or even a third seed team, then hey, we might even have a legitimate conversation with Kyler Murray winning NFL MVP. So on to the next one is Jalen Hurts from the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. Ain't no chance in hell this is happening. I don't give a damn. I could have all the support for Jalen Hurts, but ain't no way in hell this is happening. Ain't no way in hell. But if you do drop $10, you're going to get $290 if you bet on Jalen Hurts. That's big boy cash. That's almost $300, man. $300? $300, right? So coming in after Jalen Hurts, which is something I am very shocked at. I am very shocked at this. It's like they got Derek Carr this low. Jesus Christ, man. The disrespect to this man. So, do I think Derek Carr is going to win MVP? Absolutely not. But I don't think he deserves to be this low. I mean, under Jalen Hurts, Kyler Murray, I'll give him that. Dak Prescott, I wouldn't necessarily give him that. Matthew Stafford, I think he belongs in the same realm or conversation as Matthew Stafford, or at least within that same ballpark, within those three players. So he should at least be around Matthew Stafford and Dak Prescott. That's how I feel about Derek Carr. I think he's a very good quarterback. I think you can win a championship with him at quarterback, but that's given the team though, and I think they have a really good team this year. But I think this is mostly a contribution to maybe the strength of the schedule and the division that they're in. So, but for the most part, hey, if you want to bet big, go Derek Carr. I mean, he's plus 3,000. You bet 10, you get $310. $310. All right. So coming in after Derek Carr is Trey Lance. Y'all been hearing this man's name so many times. His name's been around the league for the 49ers for so long. Since this man has gotten drafted by the 49ers, he was the 3rd overall pick in last year's draft. And now the Niners have selected to start this man coming into this season. He is fired up. I know y'all seen that first preseason game with Trey Lance. That boy was on fire. He had a QBR of 150. Only going 4 for 5 and only dropping 1 pass. Now I know it's the preseason. It's nothing to get cracked up about. It's nothing to be, I'm not going to look at this and be like, he's going to win MVP just based off 1 preseason game. I ain't no rookie. That's not how I look at things. It's not how it works. But it does give you a sense that this player is definitely going to do some things in the future. Now, it ain't no MVP level now. It ain't there. I ain't saying it's there. But if he can even give you even a resemblance of what Jimmy Garoppolo has done for the 49ers, this team will go deep, and Trey Lance will go deep also. But you bet on Trey Lance with plus 4,000, you bet $10, you get $410, right? Eugene Hanley, Buccaneer Bowl, come February. Okay, nah, for sure. You know what? Let me Buccaneers. You know what? I do got y'all winning the NFC. I'm gonna take a little break from this, so I do got y'all winning the NFC for sure. It's Tom Brady's last year, right? So I go for the Cinderella story, man. I go for the Cinderella story. It's like if you've ever watched America's Game, at the end of the year, when the team already won the Super Bowl and everybody's talking about, back then I didn't know how things were gonna be. I was gonna retire. This guy got hurt. AB threw his shirt. So. I could definitely see something like that happening in the near future. And I mean, Tom Brady's going to come out fired up. He's going to come out crazy. I mean, he already had great stats, and he was 44 years old, leading the league in major QB categories, man. That is legendary. And if y'all watch my shorts, y'all would know that Tom Brady will be the first QB in NFL history to have a total of 100,000 total passing yards. First ever, right? Y'all hear it? First ever. Okay? So, thank you, Eugene Hanley. Big ups to you, man. And also, I don't think people really, I want to give a shout out to Eugene Hanley also. He did create my logo in the top right. So I want to give a big shout out to Hanley. He definitely looked out and did his thing, man. So I really do appreciate it. Making that CashSports logo. But I appreciate you engaging and staying in the comment section, right? So I'm gonna add my buddy here. I got my co-star Artem here. So I'm gonna just let him tap in, and then he can interject with whatever I got going on when it pertains to the NFL MVP voting, right? So, what's up, man? So here's Artem, right? Let the say what up to the good people. Let them know how you doing.
What's up, yo? Your boy Artem is back to the thing. You know, just gonna speak facts like usual.
Yeah. I got you, man. I got you. So let's get back into it, man. I was already talking about NFL MVP betting odds, right? But later into the conversation, we're gonna have a lot more in-depth NFL talk. But right now, let me just try to skim through this as much as possible because I want to give these people their betting odds, man. I want to let these people know how much if they bet, how much they're gonna be reeling in those bucks. Because I know they're trying to hit that strip club. After that Sunday night game, they're trying to hit it, man. They're trying to go crazy, right? I already know what y'all gonna do, man. I already know what y'all gonna do with that money, man. So let's get to the next one. So after Trey Lance is a player, coming next on this list is Deshaun Watson, right? So Deshaun Watson, I'm gonna keep it 100 here. This is not happening. I'm just gonna leave it at there. I'm not gonna interject on that one. He's not gonna win this one. So coming here after him is Kirk Cousins, right? And let me just say this too, Deshaun Watson. If you do bet on Deshaun Watson, he is plus 4,000. And if you bet $10, you will win $410. So if you are Boo Boo the Fool and you want to bet on a Browns QB and bet your life savings away, there you have it. There is the perfect bet for you, right? So back to Kirk Cousins, right? So this man is plus 5,000. You bet $10, you get $510. That's half a stack, man. Y'all ain't ready for this, man. Y'all ain't ready for that Kirk Cousins bet. And Kirk Cousins is telling you, he's speaking to y'all from that Vikings locker room, man. Man, y'all ain't betting on me, man. Y'all ain't ready for this smoke. He out here to reef. He's out here to pillage because he's a Viking. Because Kirk Cousins is out here, he's trying to be dangerous. And that's why he's not going to win MVP. Because he's going to be throwing hella picks. But nah, man, on a serious note, Kirk Cousins and the Minnesota Vikings might have a really, really big year for sure. I definitely think so. Tom Brady to GOAT. There it goes, my cousin, man. He just tapped in. Tom Brady as the GOAT, man. Nah, for sure. I'm not gonna hate on Tom Brady. Is definitely the GOAT. My man just spoke on it earlier, saying that the Buccaneers will go to the Super Bowl. And honestly, I'm not gonna interject on that. I think Tom Brady is set to have another big year, as always. He is the GOAT. He is one of the greatest QBs to have ever played the game. Actually, not even one of them. He is the greatest QB to ever play the game. I'm not gonna take that away from him. But guess who beat him twice, though? Eli Manning. Yeah, that's right. Eli Manning whooped that boy, man. So don't forget that. All y'all Tom Brady fans out there, right? So let's get back into it because I don't want to take this away from y'all because I do want to give you guys this MVP voting. I want to run this through so we can get to the NFL talks as quickly as possible because I want to talk that shit. All right? So let's get into it, man. Let's finish this up. So after Kirk Cousins is Jonathan Taylor for plus 5,000. If you bet $10, you're gonna get $510 too. Half a stack. Hey man, them tips ain't ready. Everybody in the club getting tips. Telling you,
Well,
man. Honestly, Say you want to say something?
well, if you think Kirk Cousins is a waste of money, bro, you ain't betting on Jonathan Taylor, bro. He had
No,
how many? Like, he had less than 20 touchdowns last season.
he had less than 20 touchdowns. First off, bro, if a running back has even more than 15 touchdowns, he would almost be considered an NFL MVP candidate. Just because honestly, when's the last time a running back has had 20 touchdowns?
Well,
That doesn't happen a lot. You know that, right?
yeah, that's true. That's true.
You know what I'm saying? So this is why you got to look at John Taylor really differently. And even though we know what type of player Derrick Henry is, because he is a phenomenal running back, we haven't seen somebody like Derrick Henry in a long time. I mean, we talking about Jim Brown type status when we talking about Derrick Henry. But Jonathan Taylor is another beast, man. He is. He led the league in receiving yards. He led the league in touchdowns. And he averaged 5 yards per carry. That is beastly status. You know what type of running backs are doing that? College running backs, right? So that's the type of player Jonathan Taylor is. He's playing behind one of, if not the best offensive line in the league. He just revamped on the quarterback position with Matt Ryan, so they have some actual leadership, right? Not that, that redhead guy that was, what's his name? Carson Wentz. I don't know. I forgot his name, man. He's playing for the football team, the Washington football team somewhere, right? So Jonathan Taylor, he was the best running back last year. Honestly, if you're betting him over a quarterback, that's not the best bet. But if you had to bet any other player, right, that's a non-quarterback, Jonathan Taylor might be one of those best choices. But in circumstances, right, that occur, if a running back wins it, typically they would have to rush like 2,000 yards, so that is, you really have to have like a really big year. But he did come really close to that last year. I believe he was, if I'm not mistaken, 1,800 yards last year. Yeah, he had 1,800 yards last year. So, hey, man, if he had just 200 more, definitely couldn't have been in conversation for NFL MVP, right? So let's tone this down. Let's scroll down a little bit, man. So we still got a couple names. We got a couple names on here, right? So coming in after Jonathan Taylor is Teddy Bridgewater. Honestly, this is kind of surprising to me. I don't even know what team Teddy Bridgewater plays for. I know he played for the Denver Broncos, but to have this man as MVP candidate, it's pretty crazy to me. And he's got the same odds as Jonathan Taylor. That's I guess, man. All right, man. So Teddy Bridgewater, there he is. He's there. So coming in after Teddy Bridgewater is Matt Ryan. Again, plus 5,000. You bet $10, you get half his stack, $510. Matt Ryan, honestly, definitely not gonna win MVP in my opinion, but he is somebody who has won MVP this year, right? I mean, not sorry. I was wrong. Matt Ryan is somebody that has won MVP in the previous years, right? So Matt Ryan has shown that he is that level of a caliber player, and he has taken the Atlanta Falcons to a Super Bowl, even though they've lost to one of the greatest players, if not the greatest player of all time, in Tom Brady. But a lot of people lose to Tom Brady, so don't take it to an offense. Tom Brady, Matt Ryan is playing alongside Jonathan Taylor, so he's playing with a phenomenal running back, a great offensive line, because Matt Ryan batting down in Atlanta, he wasn't doing too good down there in Atlanta. Them boys weren't blocking for him. It was on some mean machine type stuff down there. It was beating that boy. That boy was hurting, right? So now he got a line. and we about to see what Matt Ryan is all about. But I wouldn't drop that $10, even if it was a bunch of McChickens, right? So I wouldn't even do that. Matt, so coming in last on this list at the bottom for NFL MVP is Mac Jones for the New England Patriots. And there's a very good reason why this man is last on this list, because he ain't winning jack poop. I'm gonna tell you this now. Mac Jones is nowhere. He's not even going to smell an MVP. He's not even going to taste the MVP. He's not even going to know how to spell MVP. And I do mean that in the humblest way. I'm just speaking from an analogy. I'm just saying Mac Jones, he's in a very tough situation this year. I mean, people don't even know who's going to be calling plays. That division just took a complete 180 because the Bulls are running away with that division. Ain't no way if the Bulls lose this division, honestly, I'm gonna look at Josh Allen sideways, for real. But yeah, man, I just don't see Mac Jones winning this year. But further down the line, I still don't see it yet. I don't see that talent in him to say that he's gonna be that type of player. I do think he's a very good game manager so far. But to say NFL MVP, we have yet to see that from a player like Mac Jones. And so there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. There are our odds for NFL MVP for this upcoming postseason. I hope you enjoyed the fact that I was able to share this all with you guys. And I thank you all very much. Right? So there you have it. That concludes the NFL MVP. Right? So let me take this away. Yeah, bro. Bills are going to the bowl also. So you got the Bills going to the bowl. Honestly, I'm not. It's a hard bet for me because they're the best team on paper, right? But how many times have we seen the best team not make it to the Super Bowl? Right? Who was the best team last year? Who was supposed to be the projected team to go to the Super Bowl last year? Do we know? Do we remember?
Rams were and the Rams won.
No, the Rams, right? The Rams were projected to win this year? Or are you just saying that?
For sure they were.
I think you're just saying that, bro. I don't think they were projected to it. They won it. We're not taking that away. I'm just saying the fact that they were. I don't remember who was projected to win last year, or I think it was the Chiefs. I think it was the Chiefs again this year. But then the year before that was the Chiefs, right? So every year, right? Or even even the Browns. The Browns had a fantastic roster. Eugene Hanley. They were just based off their roster alone, they were projected to win a Super Bowl. Even the Cowboys, right? Even the Cowboys were projected to win a Super Bowl with their roster just 2 years ago. So Chiefs were projected. Yeah, so I had a feeling. Yeah, Chiefs were projected to win the Super Bowl last year. So thank you for that. But yeah, man. So and that just goes to show too. The Chiefs were projected to win the Super Bowl last year, and look what happened. Who would have thought the Bengals would have been in the Super Bowl? Come on now, the Bengals. I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't even think I would even see the Bengals win 2 playoff games in my lifetime. I was watching football at the time when Marvin Lewis was the head coach, and they weren't winning anything. They couldn't even win a playoff game. I think throughout his career he was 0-8 for postseason wins. So for the Bills, man, it's definitely low risk, high reward, or low risk, low reward. I'll say at least for the Bills. Or that's how I look at it. Because the Bills, they're just stacked all around. I mean, they got Von Miller. They got the requisite assets, right? Josh Allen is coming off, a big postseason. I mean, despite the fact that he lost, he had a fantastic just look at the numbers. Just look at Josh Allen's numbers in the postseason last year, and he played phenomenal. So going into this year, I think people are thinking that's going to carry over and he's going to do his thing. But that's just not how the NFL works, because it's gritty. You don't know what's going to happen. Anything can happen. Anything can happen. I mean, hey, we might even get the Dolphins go to the Super Bowl. You know, so, but real talk, hey, we don't know. We don't, you know? And so that, you know, with Josh Allen, man, he's a wonderful player. He's a fantastic quarterback. I think we're really starting to see what type of player he really, truly is when it comes to his competitiveness, his leadership qualities, and just to see the pure turnaround for the Buffalo Bills, because the Buffalo Bills have been sucking for a very long time. I mean, the last time they went to the Super Bowl was when they lost 4 straight Super Bowls, right? The only team in NFL history to lose 4 straight Super Bowls. And so this is the team you got going to the Super Bowl? Nah, man, I know it's a completely different team, completely different situation, and completely different quarterback. So I would definitely say the Bills go to the AFC Championship, but not the Super Bowl. I'm sorry, my friend. I just don't see it just yet. I don't. Not this year. It's going to be a close one. But I think the Bills lose in the AFC Championship. There it goes, man. So I want to tap into a couple breakout teams, right? A couple teams that we can possibly see this year, possibly have a breakout season, right? So as the year starts, right, we can have all these projections, we can have all these assumptions on which team is going to be the best. But you look at these teams, right? And guess what they all have in common? They're almost the same teams as last year. Nobody is branching out, man. Nobody is trying to be original. Nobody's trying to be a natural. But over here in CashSports, we keep things original. We keep things natural. We make our own picks. Why? Because we CashSports, man. We money. We money over here, right? So let's tap into some of these teams, and so we can have a conversation about which teams we think is going to have a breakout year, right? So tap into it. So I'm going to try to bring up the NFL teams up here.
How do you feel about the Titans? I feel like they're gonna show off this season.
Y'all, you think so?
Mm-hmm.
I think absolutely not. I think this is the year Ryan Tannehill really shows that he's Ryan Tannehill again, and then the Titans are going to question his relevance to the team, and even question his ability to even play quarterback in the future of his career. I honestly, he's probably one of those players who's got the biggest weight on their shoulders, especially after last year. I mean, come on, bro. The last two playoff games that Ryan Tannehill has played in, he has been one of the biggest contributions as to why the Tennessee Titans have failed or lost in those games.
Yeah, against
so
the
Tennessee Titans,
against the Bengals.
Yeah, against the Bengals. But do you remember that game? Remember, he threw an interception like on the first drive, bro.
Oh yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like, come on, he had like at least 2-3 turnovers in that game.
But then they do have Derrick Henry, who's a great defensive player.
He's a running back, bro.
I'm saying that he's past the defenses, he's gonna be just like crazy.
No, I mean, yeah, I'm not alleviating that. I kind of get what you were saying. I did get what you were saying. I was just correcting the fact that he was just a running back. But
Yeah.
nah, nobody. It's not that anybody's looking at Derrick Henry and thinking otherwise. Um, but with Derrick Henry being the motor for that offense, it's been proven that they can stop him with Derrick Henry running the ball. Because in playoff football, right? That's a different type of beast, man. You have to be able to throw. You have to be able to get long yardage. You're gonna have to be able to throw the ball in the playoffs, because when you're down, you're not gonna run the ball, bro. It's not gonna happen. You're not gonna run the ball when you're down, right? You got to throw the ball, and so they've lost a key receiver, their star receiver, AJ Brown, who just signed $100 million contract with the Philadelphia Eagles. So you lost your star wide receiver. I mean, you have really nothing to look forward to as it pertains to your receivers and your quarterback. I mean, they have a good to decent. I think the Titans have a good defense. They have a really good defense, actually. But that quarterback position with Ryan Tannehill leading the helm, I just don't see it. I just don't. I'm sorry. It's not coming to me, man. It's just not singing to me. So back to the teams that I think is going to have a breakout year this year. So first team on my list, I've reiterated this numerous times. It hasn't been really a surprise, and I haven't been hiding this feeling. But I think the Los Angeles Chargers are gonna have a big season this year. I see it. I feel it in my stomach. I felt it, and when I felt it, guess what happened? I farted. Right. So when with the Chargers, right? So Justin Herbert, I mean, I've reiterated so many times, Justin Herbert is just a star. I don't know how many times I gotta tell it to y'all, man. I've been watching this boy since Oregon, and then coming into the league, being one of the only two quarterbacks to throw for 3,500 yards and have over 60% completion percentage. And then now he's got a team and still on his rookie deal. Remember this, guys. Justin Herbert is still on his rookie contract this year. So the Chargers knew they got to blow that bag. They got to drop that bag on this team as much as possible, because now is the moment. The time when you win a Super Bowl with your starting quarterback is when they are making at least 12% or lower of the salary cap. It's been proven before. If you go back to our videos, we've already gone into that, man. We talked about it. If the QB is making over 12% of the salary cap, they do not win a Super Bowl. And guess who had 12%? Tom Brady. There it goes. There you have it, right? So,
but speaking of the Chargers, they've also turned up their defense, which was terrible last year. They've added Khalil Mack, and
of course, yes, and that's actually one of the big reasons why
and
why I wanted to. Yeah, and that's one of the biggest reasons why I chose the Chargers to begin with, is because they upped their defense. Look, the way I look at this, right, with the Chargers is that Justin Herbert is going to lead the helm on offense. I don't think there's going to be a lot of management when it comes to the offense. I think this is the year they're really going to let Justin Herbert let it fly, let it rip this year. And then they're going to focus primarily on defense. They're going to get that defense dogging. They're going to be physical. And they're going to be a tough team to play. I think they have the toughest defense. Honestly, I say in the AFC West, they have the best defense in that division. For sure. So, Artem, man, I want to give you a chance to speak. You got any teams on your mind that you think is going to have a breakout season? Let me know.
Um, well, a breakout year. I know for a fact that Rams are going to win it once again. That's what I'll say. Tell you for sure.
Yeah, man, but that's predictable, man. We not talking about because look, I ain't saying the Chargers are going to win the Super Bowl, right? I'm just saying a breakout year. A breakout year can be them winning the division, maybe them winning the conference, or just being the 1 to 3rd seed, right? And before I even get into that, right? So let me drop that in the comment section. So for those of you guys tuning in, watching Cash Sports, I just dropped the link in the comment section. You guys are free and welcome to join the conversation if you guys want to interject and join what we're talking about at this moment. So if you guys have a team that you feel is a team set to have a breakout year, let me know, man. Hop on here. I mean, you can stay in the comment section. You can type in the comment section. Let me know from there too, and we can project it on the screen right here. But you can tap in whatever. So you can. I'm sorry, bro. You can continue.
I feel like the Eagles. I mean, NFC East is already doesn't have that much competition, and they've jacked up Eagles roster, and Jalen Hurts will likely turn up with this new roster.
No, I agree. I think the Eagles are one of those teams that's also set to have another or could have a potential breakout season. People forget what happened last year with the Eagles, man. The Eagles had honestly, they beat the odds. I don't think a lot of people remember that. The Eagles were actually set to have the worst record in the NFC East. That was under the Giants. That was under the Commanders. At the time, that used to be the Washington football team, right? And they were only second to the Dallas Cowboys. Now, give or take, the Eagles definitely had some up and downs. They definitely had some bad losses in their season last year, which is why they had fallen to number 2 in the NFC East. But now this year is predicated off the success and the play of Jalen Hurts. So if Jalen Hurts can do his thing, stay in the pocket, get his guys the ball, you know what I'm saying? Spread the ball, get it out to his receivers. He's got some receivers now. So he can't be running. He can't be running and gunning. He can't be getting out the pocket. He needs to get the ball out of there. He needs to get the ball to AJ Green and Devontae Smith. So if Jalen Hurts can do that, then this team will be successful. Because I ain't worried about the other aspects of the team. I think the Eagles have. I think Miles Sanders is a good running back and set to have a breakout year any season, anytime now, in my opinion. Or maybe not even a breakout year. Maybe if he can rack up 1,200 yards and maybe 7-8 rushing touchdowns, I think that would be decent enough. I don't even need to speak further on AJ Brown, and I think Devontae Smith is one heck of a young stud, right? And so that defensive line on the Eagles are beastly, man. Them like with Cock Fletcher and them
Jordan
boys.
Davis.
Woo! Yes. Thank you, Jordan Davis, man. I know y'all been seeing this guy. I know y'all been seeing these highlights with Jordan Davis. He's been wrecking them boys up front, man. Looking like a young Vince Wilfork out there. Right? So, Eagles, man, they're really set to have they're going to be looked at as one of those teams to have another big year. So let me tap in. Look at some comments here. So I got my boy Hanley Eugene saying something. So Cardinals will make noise this year, but drop out of the second round of the playoffs. So Eugene Hanley, man, Cardinals make noise every year. Let's not overlook that, right? Because the Cardinals did go 7-0 last year. They were undefeated up until the point that they lost to Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers, I believe, week 8, week 9, around there. So things that I've stated about Kyler Murray, right? They need to finish the year off on a high note. So it's not about starting off. It's about how you finish. I'm gonna just leave it at there with the Cardinals. Hate to say it, Cowboys may have a breakout year too. Hell no! Don't say that foolishness on here on my channel, man. Talking about the Cowboys have a breakout year. What the hell's wrong with you, man? This guy tripping over here talking about Cowboys. Hey, man, go watch my other video, man. I put out a video saying why the Cowboys are not going with anything this year. I mean, I got them going 9-8. 9-8 this year. Hey, man. Hey, but nah, real talk though, they do make the playoffs. I see the Cowboys making the playoffs, but like I said, man, I wish I'm wrong. When it comes to the Cowboys, any bet that I place on the Cowboys in their favor, I hope I lose. That is money I am proud to spend. I'll take that tax. But nah, man, I do not see the Cowboys having a breakout year, man. If they were set to have a breakout year, they would have done it 2 years ago. They would have done it a year ago. What about the first couple years when Ezekiel Elliott was running for 1,400 yards, 1,300 yards, 1,200 yards, right? When they had the top rushing game and Dak Prescott, he had Mari Cooper, right? Yeah, and I forgot the second guy. There was another guy, second receiver. I don't even forget, man. That was around the time when Dak Prescott had just taken the job from Tony Romo. I forgot who's their receivers. But y'all already know, man. And they had a great defense, too. Don't forget, 2 years ago, their defense was better then. They had a top 5 defense. So if you have a top 5 defense, man, you got Dak Prescott, Ezekiel Elliott, Mari Cooper and them boys. Come on now. Let's get with the program, man. It's the Cowboys, man. Ain't gonna break nothing. The only thing the Cowboys break are hearts. They break the hearts of their fans. They'll leave them weeping and crying. But you know what? It's a sad thing though, because they're gonna play the Giants on Thanksgiving. It's gonna be a tough one for me this year. It's gonna be rough, you know. But you know what though? I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna be here on CashSports. I'm gonna take the business, man. Pause. I'm gonna take the business. I'm gonna take that heat because I come on here, I talk all my trash about the Cowboys, man. So I gotta be held accountable whenever my Giants get that work. That's not gonna stop me from talking what I gotta talk now. I'm gonna say what I gotta say, and that's not gonna take away from the Cowboys going 9-8, right? But most improved will be the Jets. All right, now I'm convinced you're on drugs, bro. Let me put this comment on here. Hey, bro. Hey, you having a session over there? That man smoking something right there right now. It's like, let me mess around here. Let me type in the Jets. 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 Hell nah, man. Did you just see what that boy was? Did you just see what that boy Zach Wilson was just doing, man? That man threw a pick on the first drive, bro. It is the preseason. Man. Look here. With Zach Wilson and them boys on the Jets, first off, the Jets are in football purgatory as far as I'm concerned, right? I don't see the Jets really doing anything. In order for the Jets to even be somewhat competitive, they got to have it right at the quarterback position. And there just hasn't been enough of Zach Wilson to even have that conversation. Zach Wilson is just not there yet for me, man. That one pass alone had me going the other way. Like, woo, come on, bro. Chill out, man. It just ain't there for the Jets, you know. It ain't there for the Jets. With certain teams, right? Now, I'm going to say it like this. So for certain teams, like when we watch Justin Herbert play, right? We watched Patrick Mahomes play. We watched Joe Burrow play. We watched these guys and we knew, we watched them and we was like, they got it. These guys are stars. They're going to do something in the future. Can you say the same for Zach Wilson? And I'm going to help you out with that. Hell no. To the no. Hell to the no. It is not happening, bro. Jets ain't winning nothing, bro. Sorry to say.
So, speaking of the previous Cowboys. You forgot to mention the Micah Parsons, who won the Defensive Rookie of the Year.
Oh no, Michael Parsons is a dog, bro. He's probably the best player on that team. He's probably the best player on that team, Micah Parsons, for sure. He can definitely be said to have. He can win Defensive Player of the Year. He can be in conversation for Defensive Player of the Year. It's gonna be really tough though, trying to compete with T.J. Watt, who just came off a record-breaking season, tying Michael Strahan for the most sacks in the season with 22.5. That's big boy numbers. 22.5 sacks, man. That is beastly. We haven't seen that in years. Ooh, I'm scared for quarterbacks just thinking about 22.5. Ugh, it's a disgusting number. You feel me? So, for sure. Michael Parsons is gonna have a big year, but defensive players though, they only have so much control over the success of their team. I know I'm just going off the top here. I'm not too familiar with NFL involving win shares, but when you're talking about players like defensive players and even to an extent even running backs and wide receivers, when it comes to win shares, they have a very low percentage in win shares because one, they don't really have the ball like that, and they can't affect the game or influence the game like a quarterback or like a running back or even a receiver, like an offensive position. So for a defensive player, he can win Defensive Player of the Year. But if we're talking MVP, who knows? Who knows when's the next time we're gonna see a defensive player win MVP in the NFL? It might as well be a QB award at this point, right? So if you in Artem, whenever you want to interject and throw your 2 cents on whatever team you have on your mind, you can let me know. But I'm gonna
throw my 10 cents right now.
Okay.
The Raiders.
Let me know. The Raiders.
Bro.
The Raiders. The Las Vegas Raiders. Right? They are another team that could possibly have another break-off year. Let me get this comment off because it's getting people to run away from the channel. They see New York Jets and they run. Yes, the Raiders. I'm gonna say, and I have been saying this, that it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough for the Raiders. Now, are they more likely to have a breakout year than the other teams that I proposed? Honestly, I think it's going to be a lot more harder. With the Eagles, it's a little bit easier, even though they're not as good as the team like the Raiders. Even though I do think the Eagles can provide a lot of work in terms of just physicality alone in that aspect. And they could probably be a top rushing team too, right? So that we can't alleviate that. But with the Raiders, I'm convinced on Derek Carr, and I was just watching, some expert takes on some guys who made some very valid points when it pertains to ESPN. And then, so the Raiders had made the playoffs, right? And then we keep talking about Devontae Adams, but we're not talking about players like Darren Waller, who is top 3 tight end in the league, Hunter Renfrow. This man caught over 100 receptions. He had over 100 receptions last year. Hunter Renfrow. I mean, he looks like you, bro.
Bro, what?
And he got 100. He looks like you, a short white guy.
Bro, this guy on some shit like that.
No, have you seen Hunter Renfrow though?
Yeah, I've seen him.
Yeah.
He doesn't look like bro.
I'm not saying he looks like you. I'm saying like he's a guy that you wouldn't expect to have this type of statistics in the NFL. Is where I was coming from. I mean, he had 100 receptions, bro. You feel me? So that's hey, not anybody just gets catches 100 balls in the season, right? So if you, and let's just say you're matching up against the Raiders and you take away Devontae Adams, then they still have players that they've always done it with. They still have Darren Waller, they still have Hunter Renfrow, and they still have Josh Jacobs, who's still one of the best, if not a top 10 running back in the league. And then not to mention even the defensive aspect of their team. They're not great in their secondary, but their front can still provide, some pressure now. And they just got Chandler Jones. So, that's something to definitely look out for, man. I'm telling you, the Raiders, they can definitely be dangerous, and they can definitely have a breakout year. And then so my last team that I am going to present as a team that's going to have a breakout year. Are you guys ready? It is the Jacksonville Jaguars. I got the Jacksonville Jaguars having a breakout season. Now, how far will they go? How good will they be? Honestly, I would have to break down that schedule for me to even get into detail. But just going off what, with the tempo, everything that they've been through in the previous season, with Urban Meyer kind of mucking things up. And now that they have a different head coaching situation with Doug Peterson, somebody who's very familiar at the professional level. And Trevor Lawrence has been looked at as a very, very big prospect, right? He was looked at as a once-in-a-generation prospect, somebody in the same conversation as Andrew Luck. So with Trevor Lawrence, getting through the motion with his first year, he didn't have his teammate Travis Etienne, who he played with back in Clemson, right? So now that you got your star running back from which you played with and won with at the collegiate level, it gives him a sense of familiarity, right? I'm sorry, I kind of messed my words up a little bit, but guys kind of get the sense of where I'm getting at, right? And then not to mention, right? So if we had to make a comparison, just look at the Bengals. I'm not saying they're the Bengals now, but I'm just speaking from that combination, that duo, that chemistry, because it matters, especially when you're a QB. You have that chemistry with any of your receivers, any of your players. It is a recipe for success, right? So these guys are going to be on the same page. And Travis Etienne is very good at catching balls out the backfield. So we can't alleviate that. Now, if we're talking the Jaguars defense, that's a hit or miss for me. I'm going to be honest there. It is a hit or miss for me. But I'm banking in that Trevor Lawrence is going to have a very good year this year. Now, it's not going to be at no MVP level now. I'm going to just state that out there right now. But he is going to have a very good year this year. And I think he's set to set the stage for his NFL career. And then when it comes to his division, when it pertains to just having a breakout season as a team, I think they have a very good chance. I believe they go against the Colts and the Titans in their division. So it'll be tough. It'll be tough for sure. But with them just having maybe going 10-7, 9-8 would be something to look forward to, or something to look up from, if I may say. Right? So there you have it. Those are my teams that I think are going to be have a breakout season this year. Earlier in the video, I had went over the NFL MVP betting odds. If you guys want that link, if you guys want to tune in for that, and you guys don't want to watch the whole video, all you got to do is click the link in the description box. And then once you click that, then you'll see all the MVP betting odds for all the players that are projected to an MVP. So I'm gonna repeat that again, just so you guys got it. The link for the NFL MVP betting odds for Caesar Sportsbooks. So this is from Caesar Sportsbooks. It is in the description, is in my description for this video. You click that, it'll take you right to where you need to be. And this is the most recent. And again, I am not responsible for either your wins or your losses, right? So I'm gonna reiterate that again. I am not responsible for your wins and your losses. You could give me your wins. Yeah, I could. I wish I got a share if I'm gonna keep it 100. Oh yeah. The Broncos. Let me squeeze one in because my boy just tapped on. So he said the Broncos, right? Broncos. Nah, for sure. For sure. I definitely see the Broncos having a good year this year. But it's really tough though. Just with that division, man. It is. I've never seen it. Honestly, I've never seen a division this tough before. Like really, I've never seen a division this tough at this level. I mean, there's been some divisions before where it's like it's always a tough division, like with the Steelers, Ravens, Browns, and Bengals. I've always thought that was a really tough division. Even the division with the 49ers, Rams, who else is in that? Seahawks, right? All those teams. Those are that's a tough division. So with the Broncos, man, it's just Russell Wilson is just gonna have to really cook up, man. He's gonna really have to do his thing, right? So thank you for that, man. Thank you for asking questions, man. You could always interject, drop anything in the comment section. But I'm about to conclude here because I am a quarter past an hour, and so I don't want to keep this video going any longer than when I have to. Even though it's sad for me, I don't want to, go get away from the camera because I love you guys so much. I love talking to you guys. I love streaming. But if you guys love me too, if you guys mess with me, if you guys love this platform and the channel, please help a brother out and like and subscribe, please. You know what? I'm not gonna yell. I'm gonna say it nicely. Please like and subscribe. Right? It's like and subscribe.
But the Broncos, and particularly Russell Wilson, will have a lot to prove next year. A lot.
Why you say that?
Because Russell Wilson is a scam.
He's a scam?
Oh, he's not as good as he used to be, and that's a fact.
That's 1 year, bro. He had one bad year.
Well,
and the team sucked.
That's true.
I mean, so let me put it like this, right? Because you were very big on Matthew Stafford. So Matthew Stafford didn't have a winning career throughout the first couple years, throughout the first part of his year with the Detroit Lions. Haven't done anything with the Detroit Lions. With all the weapons, he's had Calvin Johnson, right? He's had one of the best receivers to ever play the game. And what has he done compared to what Russell Wilson has done? Because you were high on Matthew Stafford, but now you're saying Russell Wilson's a sham, and he has something to prove. I think yes, Russell Wilson has to somewhat restart his career, or kind of get it back on track, because last year was a lot of bad chemistry. I mean, the QB and the coach, Pete Carroll, just weren't on the same page. So, but I'm looking at a completely different situation. And I don't think Russell Wilson needs to prove himself. I think he needs to win another Super Bowl. But what does he have to prove?
Just that he's still competitive, just like that.
That he's always been competitive. Russell Wilson has always been competitive, bro.
Not last season,
bro. But all right, okay. So we're talking about last season. What about So think about the years prior to even that. Do you know why the Seahawks were even relevant? Do you know why the Seahawks were even a good team to begin with?
Why?
Because of Russell Wilson.
That's true.
It's true. I know it's true because that's what was happening, bro. The Seahawks hadn't had the Legion of Boom for years now. You know that, right? So they hadn't had Cam Chancellor. They hadn't had Richard Sherman in years. Earl Thomas left the team, right? Ajay Bouye, the other corner that was at the other side of Richard Sherman, they haven't been on that team for years, bro. The only player that was left from that defense was Bobby Wagner. They had one of the worst passing defenses in the league. But guess what? The only stat that they were up in, the only stat that they were inconsistent in was Russell Wilson. Do you know before that, Russell Wilson was an MVP candidate? He didn't win it, but he was still MVP candidate.
True.
So, nah, man, I'm not going to take that away after just one bad year, because the Seahawks were a sinking ship even before the Russell Wilson requesting a trade. So, nah, man, that's just my take on it. But again, man, if y'all watching, if y'all tuning in, please like and subscribe to CashSports. Hit that notification button so for the next time I hit live, y'all gonna stay tuned, so then y'all can join me on the next one, right? So Arden, you got anything you want to say to the good people before we head out of here?
You know, bet on the Rams, guaranteed money. Matthew Stafford, MVP.
Okay, the Rams might win the Super Bowl, but yeah, Matthew Stafford ain't winning no MVP. But there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in. This is CashSports. I enjoy the fact that you guys tuned in into CashSports. Yeah, I know y'all see that Cash App at the bottom. If you opt, it is optional. It's not required for you to donate, but it is free for me to come on here and talk to you guys. Not because I want to get paid for it, but because I simply enjoy having this conversation with you guys. Just talking sports, talking football. I can't wait for it. I can't wait for the NFL season to come, because watch, when this NFL season comes up, you guys are going to hear so much from me. Y'all going to get sick and tired of me. Y'all going to pay me to stay off the mic. All right? So there you have it, man. Thank you all again for tuning in. This is probably like my third time saying goodbye. Thank you all again, and have a wonderful, wonderful time.